Hello and welcome to the Legion beta servers. We'll be testing out the Ret Paladin today in order to see the opening scenario, the artifact weapon, and we'll be also taking a look at the talents, our abilities, and the animations towards the end of the video. If you're interested in that, not only there will be times in the description so you can skip ahead to what you're looking for in particular if that's the case. So we're already here, we've skipped the opening scenario, and we'll get right to it. We'll turn our quest in here.
What can I do for you?
It's good to see you on your feet. The members of the Council of Six are recuperating from their ordeal. The intensity of the teleportation spell can be disorienting. It seems you lost consciousness for a time, but at least you didn't awaken to find yourself stuck in a wall. Dalaran has been relocated to the Broken Isles. From here we will spearhead the effort to acquire the Pillars of Creation and drive the Legion from Azeroth once and for all. And with that you'll receive your Dalaran Hearthstone, much like your Garrison Hearthstone. It's going to be very useful. And 5 Tomes of the Tranquil Mind. You're going to want to save these because they are used to respec your talents while you're either out in the world, in a dungeon, or in a raid.
Go with honor.
Now, as you can see, we've turned that in. We don't have any quests left available, and there are none on the map here in Dalaran. So, to activate your artifact quest line, or your class hall quest line, however you want to call it, what you'll have to do is just do a little bit of a run around here in Dalaran. We'll take a look around. Everything is pretty much the exact same for both perspectives, the Alliance and the Horde. The only difference is here in the middle is the new Chamber of the Guardian, which we'll get a chance to see, I believe, during this quest line. This one is particularly spoiler heavy.
Thank the light I found you. I must speak with you at once.
A critical decision must be made. The Legion devastated our forces at the Broken Shore. The mightiest army this world has ever known was reduced to cinders in moments. We must gather those with the conviction to save our home. Travert of Tyr's Guard and Auric Trueheart have each made plans to do just that.
I require your aid with a matter of the utmost importance.
We must not let them walk alone. I ask that you seek them out and guide them to Crassus's Landing so that we may make this decision together.
Excellent. Meet me at Crassus's Landing when you are ready.
Talk to these two.
Even if no one here will help us, we must fulfill our duty.
My sincere apologies for the insistence, but we must speak immediately.
Holy Jesus. Just so much talking. Trevor helps you with the Holy Valley quest.
Shield Hill it is. There's no time to waste.
Here, who we're not going to listen to his dialogue.
Now he's a good man.
He's going to keep talking anyway. Auric will help you with the Prot Paladin quest line, which I have in both, actually, in another video. In 2 other videos, rather. So we'll head up here to the gathering and
I'm glad you could join us.
With Lord Maxwell Tyrosus.
At your service.
Thank you for helping us gather together. We must stand united. Our gathering has identified several weapons of immense power. In the right hands, these holy artifacts give us a fighting chance against the Legion. We cannot pursue all of them at once. We risk too much if we spread ourselves that thin. We must agree on where our efforts are best focused. That is why I asked you here. As one of our greatest champions, you must be the voice of reason and decide on our next move. And as you can see, when we click that,
walk all brothers and sisters, we must not forget the
Paladin artifact weapons.
Tyrion may be gone, but the High Blade is still out there somewhere.
Keep talking. A lot of RP in this expansion. So here are our 3 weapons, but for the purpose of this video, we will be doing the Retribution line. During our failed assault on the Broken Shore, High Lord Tyrion Fordring was lost, and with him our greatest weapon against the Legion, the Ashbringer. We need to find the Ashbringer and recover it at all costs. These other 2 you'll be able to see in other videos. As of the time I'm making this, I have the Holy Paladin artifact quest line up, and the protection will come very shortly. So we'll click on the Ashbringer.
Azeroth will not fall while we stand.
Excellent choice, there's no time to waste.
Take care of yourself.
High Lord Tyrion may be gone, but the Ashbringer is still out there somewhere. Its power would devastate the Legion. We must find it. I wish it were as simple as returning to where Tyrion fell. It could be anywhere on that infernal landscape by now. I believe an old friend can help us find the blade. I ask that you place your faith in me and journey to Uther's tomb in the Plague Lands. We will seek answers there.
You can always count. We should leave for Uther's tomb. Take care of yourself.
So we have to go to that center area that we were talking about a few moments ago. This is, for all intensive purposes, where you will be doing all of your artifact quest lines. They'll go through here, except for maybe a little handful. Let me head through here, and it teleports us down to the Guardian's Chamber and the Portrait Room. In the back here, you can see some portals. This will help you on all of your characters, your main and your alts, in getting around, not only in the regular game, but especially during your artifact weapon quest line. So here's the portal to Dalaran Crater. When you go through, make sure you hit your Bop or your Divine Shield. You can also buy a Goblin Glider. Wow, hard to say. Goblin Glider from the Goblin at the portal itself for, I believe, 10 gold, so that you don't die every time you fall through there. And now we're going to fly over to Uther's tomb, which is not too far away, so I won't skip ahead in the video. I'll give you a little idea of what's happened up until now. During the Broken Shore scenario, we do, by the way, major spoilers, we do find out that Tyrion Fordring is killed in the process of trying to stop Gul'dan and stop the Legion. Because he was lost, he also lost the weapon, and the forces of both the Alliance and the Horde were pushed back. We lost many of the great weapons that were there, including the Ashbringer. So here we are, trying to figure out where it is, otherwise the Paladin Order believes that they will fall without the Ashbringer. And the Paladin class order hall is actually right out here. You can see Acaris here in the background, and Light's Hope Chapel being right below that. But we'll get out there a little bit later on, and you'll get a good chance to see that. It's actually my absolute favorite class hall. Very, very cool looking. And here we are, the Tomb of Uther.
It seems the High Lord's absence has affected more than just the living.
These brave watchers require our aid. The light may well ignore our prayers if we choose not to help our brethren.
I will prepare the ceremony while you assist our allies.
We must ensure that these buried here are never again disturbed. Their spirit's very presence only further perturbs the light. This cannot continue. I must maintain the barrier to ensure none of the wayward souls enter the Lightbringer's resting place. If you can purify the graves themselves, this madness can finally cease. And
victory lies
the lost
ahead.
souls roaming the cemetery grounds have been drawn to the realm of the living in the wake of the light's disturbance. In truth, they merely seek comfort, as we all do in these dark times since High Lord Tyrion's passing. However, their unrest threatens the very sanctity of the tomb we have sworn to protect. If we are to restore peace here, then they must be exorcised.
Salama Ashalanore.
Oh, we'll head around and do this. You get to see kind of a little bit of the animations, and I'll be right back. And there we go. We'll turn these in. I did forget to put my buffs on. Ret Pally is I believe, the only class that still has castable buffs.
Anaria Shola.
Those poor souls are finally at peace. Thank you.
Death to all who oppose us.
Good. Given time, the last few lingering souls will make their way home.
Go in peace.
We are ready to commune with Lord Uther. Join me at the tomb. We will prevail.
We seek aid not from a living friend, but one who passed long ago. Uther the Lightbringer was more attuned to the subtleties of the light than any paladin I've ever known. If we reach out to him, he may be able to help us find the Ashbringer. The ceremony has been prepared. Approach the tomb when you are ready.
You can always count on me. Uther's resting place lies just ahead.
We could do our little RP walk. So we could be super cool. Because obviously, the Legion destroying everything is not a matter of urgency to this gentleman and his white tiger pauldrons.
Begin when you are ready. At your service. Light, hear our prayers, for shadows close in around us. Grant us this one audience, so the Ashbringer may yet save our world.
Maxwell, my old friend. It's been too long.
It's really you.
You're both doing the light's work. But if you seek to recover the Ashbringer, you must hurry.
Do you know where it is, Uther? We risk everything if we return to that place.
I can feel the Ashbringer calling out from an island that lies close to the tomb of the Evil One. And the blade is not alone. Tyrion still lives, but his light is fading. You must move swiftly, or he will perish. That is all I can tell you. Good luck, friends. Walk always in the light.
Okay. Tyrion, could it be?
Azeroth will
Tyrion,
not fall
still alive.
while we
We
stand.
have to save him. Light's Hope Chapel is not far from here. We must rally our forces and leave at once for the Broken Shore.
Walk always in the light. If Tyrion is still alive, we will save him, or die trying.
Aha! Fooled you. You thought Tyrion was dead. He is. I won't spoil it for you, but he is. So, we'll head over to the Eastern Plague Lands and check out Light's Hope Chapel, which is where our class hall is located. You'll spend a lot of time there. There's a lot of neat stuff inside, and of course, we'll take a closer look at it after we've finished up this artifact quest line, which is by far one of the better ones. Some of them leave a little bit to be desired. Some of them are, of course, beta is beta, but some of them are a little overtuned, some are a little undertuned, some are just generally underwhelming. The story itself is very good, but the encounters themselves, some of them can be a little bit underwhelming, like I said. And as you can see, they removed a lot of the bloat of abilities, which we'll get into a little bit later. I'll show you all the different abilities and what Ret has to offer as you go forward. Some of these come from talents. As you can see, we have Zeal, which replaced Crusader Strike. And we're almost there. I'm running out of things to say. I should have probably just skipped this, but hey, why not? Get to view the world with me. And this is on max draw distance. My graphics card is pretty shitty, so you may notice a little bit of lag, and I don't have my abilities all the way on maximum. So I do apologize if at the end the animations aren't exactly what you were expecting, but it may look different for you. But you can still get the gist of what the abilities will look like. Some of them are just a little more shiny on Ultra.
At your service.
We're ready to depart when you are.
May the light give you strength.
Tyrion is fading away on that infernal shore, and the Ashbringer with him. We must not waste another moment. Give the word and we'll set off. We're ready when you are.
Walk always. You brave souls have been chosen to strike into the depths of hell itself to rescue High Lord Tyrion. This is your last chance to turn back. Ready yourselves, men. The broken shore awaits. We leave on our champion's command.
And we're off. We're leading... Oh well. We should be leading our men into battle. Apparently they wanted to wait a few more moments. Ah, here they are. And we're back at the Broken Shore. There's the tomb of Sargeras in the background.
The demons before us are all that stand between us and the Ashbringer. Regardless of the outcome, our families will know that we fought for the freedom and safety of our world. Argent, we move on our champion's command.
Such arrogance must be punished.
I'm out of range.
Champion, we must persevere.
Scorch the earth behind us. I must finish breaking our nest.
The fiends have Tyrion. We have to act quickly. Champion, I'll signal for our Hippogriff riders to get our fallen to Light's Hope Chapel. You must forge ahead and find the High Lord.
You mortals are so vain, so arrogant. You will suffer for your hubris.
I'm out of range.
The sundering of this one's soul has been taxing, but he will be ours soon.
No! The light burns in my heart! I will never surrender!
You will suffer for 1,000 lifetimes.
By the light!
Insignificant gnat, I will enjoy breaking you.
It's too far away. I need to get closer.
Insignificant gnat, I will enjoy breaking you.
Tyrion! By all that is holy, what have they done to you? I'll break Tyrion free. You must find the Ashbringer while there's still time.
I'm out of range. I don't have a target.
The Light's greatest champion has arrived to claim the Holy Ashbringer and lay waste to my kin. They say only the pure can wield the High Blade. Come, champion. Claim your destiny. I've been waiting for you, Paladin. Know that I will rip the soul from your flesh and make your body my own. I will turn you into a weapon of the Legion. I will use your hollow shell to corrupt and destroy everything you have ever loved, piece by piece. Now kneel. Kneel before your new master.
Give me the strength to shatter these bonds.
You cannot fight my will. You are mine. Very well. This will be a fine test. Know that I am Balnazar. Know that you are but a pawn in plans beyond your reckoning. You are here because I will it. You live because I will it. And you will serve because I will it. Do you think me so foolish as to stand alone? Burn everything, my pets. Leave only ash. Impressive. I did not expect you to attune to the Ashbringer so quickly. No matter. I will finish you off personally. Enough! Never again will that damned blade slay my brethren. You think this is you will die. Our journey together has just begun.
You must come quickly. Tyrion called for you by name. I fear he does not have long for this world. Hurry! Azeroth will not fall while we stand. We have to get out of here before more demons come. Quickly! The High Lord is just outside the temple.
Come closer. You must wield the blade. You must stop the Legion. You must become the Ashbringer.
You will be missed, brother. We must go to Light's Hope Chapel at once. High Lord Fordring deserves to be put to rest among the ancient heroes of the light buried there. We will prevail.
I owe you my life. We all do.
At your service.
We must put High Lord Tyrion to rest. There is but one place suitable for a paladin of his caliber, in Light's Hope Sanctum, a secret bastion of the light hidden beneath our chapel. Paladins the world over will join us for the ceremony. I know Tyrion would want you there most of all.
You can always count. We gave everything for the Ashbringer. You gave everything. Tyrion would be proud to see you wielding that blade.
And we'll head and jump on the hippogriff here. Which is going to take us back to Light's Hope. And that was one of the coolest artifact scenarios by far. Seeing Tyrion die. As someone who loves the lore, that was hard to see the first time. I've seen it quite a few now, but that was a tough one. One of my favorite characters, definitely. And there's Tyrion's. I believe that's Tyrion. I'm not quite sure. I think that's Tyrion though. And as you can see, right here in the floor. Why that did that, I don't know. Right here on the floor, if you click on it, we enter the Paladin class hall. Which is really, really neat. I love the silver hand banners everywhere. The artifacts. And of course, in the Holy video that I have already made, I forgot to turn my sound on, or my mic on so that you could hear me. But Paladins the world over, like he said, show up to pay their respects to the Ashbringer and to Tyrion Fordring. There's Kieran Stoutmantle. Or Grian, however you say.
We
It's
will
RP time.
prevail.
It is fitting that you are here. Time and again, you have fought to save our world. Now I fear I must ask you to undertake an even greater act of service. The Paladins of Azeroth must stand united behind a single leader. With Tyrion's passing, you are the one most worthy to wear the mantle of High Lord. If you agree to accept this duty, inscribe your name into the Librum of Ancient Kings, and I will address the masses on your behalf. The Order of the Silver Hand is reborn, with you as its champion.
Take care of yourself out there. These fine men and women need a leader. Your deeds prove you are the clear choice to bear that burden. Come, I will address them on your behalf. Paladins of Azeroth, you've gathered to mourn the loss of High Lord Tyrion Fordring. Many of you look to him as an ideal, the paragon of what we all strive to be. Let us observe a moment of silence for a great soldier, leader, and friend. In the light we are one, brother. Always. Inscribe your name into the Librum of Ancient Kings, so that we may begin the ceremony. You all know the noble deeds of the champion at my side. This hero has been chosen by the light to succeed Tyrion as High Lord. Under our new leader, this order shall become a mighty weapon brought to bear against the Legion. We must stand together against the coming darkness. We must cast aside the shackles of race and kingdom. We must unite as one!
The Blood Knights stand by you, High Lord. Azeroth will not fall.
We pledge ourselves to your cause, High Lord. On this day, the Order of the Silver Hand is reborn. Together, Sargeras himself shall shudder at our might.
And there you have it. That is pretty much the end of the Paladin Artifact questline for Retribution. Pretty cool ERP, bro.
Azeroth will not fall while we
Tyrosus
stand.
again. We've done it. We've done it, High Lord. The Order of the Silver Hand is reborn. Even the most nefarious Legion lords fear your presence on the battlefield. Yet they are relentless, fashioning ever more terrible horrors and fiends in hopes of countering your might. High Lord, we must augment your power to maintain our edge over the enemy. The altar before you holds within it the light buried in these sacred halls. Within it the essence of the countless heroes of the light buried in these sacred halls. Place your weapon upon the altar and imbue it with new strength.
May the light the blade on the altar
right
when you
here
are ready.
is where
the light
we
will be our
do
forge.
that. Here we go. There is the ability that we gained when we picked up the Ashbringer. It's called Wake of Ashes, with 1 rank on a 30-second cooldown. Lash out with the Ashbringer, dealing 28,094 radiant damage to all enemies within 12 yards in front of you, and reducing movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. Demon and undead enemies are also stunned for 6 seconds when they're struck by Wake of Ashes. Now that leads to Blade of Light, a 1-rank passive that increases the damage dealt by Zeal by 15%. That will also go to Crusader Strike, but in my talents I took Zeal for the purposes of this video. So we'll go ahead, and as you can see, that takes 100 artifact power. Blizzard gives us 100 artifact power when we pick up the weapon, and this will unlock the entire UI for the weapon itself. There we go, pretty cool. We'll talk about this in just a moment, and these as well. As we move along, we can see these will cost 300 artifact power, and that is for each rank. It may go, it may go up depending on how Blizzard feels. So you get 300, and then the next rank might cost 4. The next rank after that might cost 5. I'm not quite sure on that yet, but in the beta right now, I believe each will cost 300. So we have Deliver the Justice, a 3-rank passive that increases the damage dealt by Divine Hammer by 8%. And Divine Hammer being this ability here, which actually replaces Blade of Justice, which is an ability that you have baseline. And then we have Righteous Blade, a 3-rank passive that increases the damage dealt by Divine Storm by 5%. We have Unbreakable Will, a 1-rank passive. When unable to act in combat for more than 2 seconds, the Ashbringer will break you free. It can only occur once every 2 minutes. We also have Protector of the Ashen Blade, a 3-rank passive reducing the cooldown of Blessing of Protection by 10%, and this is by ranks, by the way. So for 3 ranks you would get 30% reduction on Blessing of Protection. Now we have, as you can see, 3 golden portraits, and we'll talk about this one first. We have Ashes to Ashes, a 1-rank passive. Wake of Ashes, which is this here, will also generate 5 holy power and causes all enemies to burn for 38,898 radiant damage over 6 seconds. I think radiant damage is holy damage now. No, it's something different. Okay, cool. Don't know what that is. So, radiant damage. I'm not sure what that means. Might of the Templar, 3 rank passive, increases the damage dealt by Templar's Verdict by 2%. We have Endless Resolve, a 1 rank passive, reducing the duration of Forbearance by 10 seconds. That seems a little... Oh, I mean, I guess that puts it on a 20-second cooldown for Forbearance. That's actually pretty useful. I stand corrected. We have High Lord's Judgment, increases the damage dealt by Judgment by 15%. It has 3 ranks. We have Embrace of the Light, a 3 rank passive, increasing healing done by Flash of Light by 15%, which is really good because Flash of Light gets extraordinarily expensive, and 3 or 4 of them will oom you very quickly. And then we have Divine Tempest, a 1 rank passive. Ashbringer projects Divine Storm forward 20 yards, damaging all enemies in its path. Also increases damage dealt by Divine Storm by 20%. So whenever you Divine Storm, everything within 20 yards in front of you will take Divine Storm damage, and also 20% increased Divine Storm damage. We have Wrath of the Ashbringer, a 3 rank passive, increasing the duration of Avenging Wrath by 2.5 seconds per rank again. Healing Storm, a 1 rank passive. Divine Storm also heals up to 6 nearby allied players for 6,488 damage. We have Sharpened Edge, a 3 rank passive, which increases the critical strike chance of Zeal by 6%, and that also applies to Crusader Strike if you don't take the Zeal talent. We have Deflection, a 3 rank passive, reducing the cooldown of Shield of Vengeance by 10 seconds, and we'll talk about a Shield of Vengeance in just a little bit. Then we have Echo of the High Lord, 1 rank passive. The Ashbringer mimics Templar's Verdict and Divine Storm, dealing 10% of normal damage. Okay, so we've looked at all of these traits that we're able to put points into, and then we'll look up here at the top. You can see there are 3 slots. 1 is still locked. I believe you unlock that at 110. These other artifact slots you will fill with a little item that you'll gain either through questing, world quests, dungeons, mythics, and raiding. I believe raiding will fill up this slot and this slot here. These will add item levels to your weapon. They will also add ranks to your talents, or excuse me, to your traits, and I believe it will go over. So if you have 3 points, let's say, in Deliver the Justice, and this relic here adds 2 to that particular trait, this will be at 5 of 3, and you'll lose that when you replace it. It'll obviously come out of here. So make sure, by the way, when you're replacing your relics in these slots, that you are sure you want to do that, because it will destroy any relic in the slot. You do not get it back, and currently there is no way to unsocket anything from these relic slots. If you look up here, you have a number up by your up in the top left corner of the Ashbringer UI. For every trait point you put in, up to 34 traits, you gain 0.75% stamina. So that's just a little baseline thing they added in, which is pretty neat. Now I'll show you. You can access that UI from anywhere just by shift right clicking on your weapon from your character inventory. Once again, just pop it open like that. But you can only add points and use your artifact power into these traits by coming to the Altar of Ancient Kings, which will be at Light's Hope Chapel and your class order hall. Alright, now that we've talked about that, let's head up to Tyrosus. I will continue beseeching the light to bolster the power of your weapon. For now, its newfound strength should be more than enough. I think we are ready to reintroduce ourselves to the Legion on the Broken Isles. Lord Grayson Shadowbreaker has volunteered to help coordinate our forces on the ground. You should speak with him immediately, High Lord.
You can always Shadowbreaker will be expecting you. This way.
So we'll head this way. This is the Great Hall. Really cool statues. There's Tyrion. I'm not quite sure who everyone is in here. There's Uther. I have no idea who that is. That's a paladin. Or a dwarf paladin.
Lord Shadowbreaker, the High Lord would like to peruse the reconnaissance you've gathered on the Broken
I believe
Isles.
that's Vindicator Murad. Got these little rooms here on the side. I'll show you one real quick. It's the crypt. Oh, okay. Don't need to worry about that then. That's the crypts. And you can see there's the paladin traders here. Pretty neat. In each of the order halls, also there is those which we'll take advantage of. So we don't have to head to Stormwind. I keep forgetting that these are in order halls, and get an idea of animations and the talents and such. So here we are. There are other things here that you will have to take note of as you're leveling up. That's really cool as you're leveling up, but I'm not going to go through everything in the class hall, as you'll learn them through your questing, such as this area and that area over there. You'll get that through questing, and it'll give you kind of an idea of where the story is going to go as well. I don't want to spoil too much. So we'll talk to Lord Grace and Shadowbreaker. Now it's time to strike back against the Legion. The Legion still believes us crippled from the broken shore. They think we were unable to fight back. Let's prove them wrong. We've been hard at work mapping out the Broken Isles, learning everything we can about each region for our imminent assault. Once you have a chance to peruse the map, you should leave for Dalaran at once and charge into the Maw of the Beast. We will end this madness for good. Light help us all. Select your first assault point on the Broken Isles.
Light bless you.
Here we go, and as you can see, this brings up this UI called the Scouting Map. The use of the Scouting Map is to pick what area you're going to go to. As you can see, you can kind of get an idea of the different areas, what the quest is going to have in it. They're all really good zones. We'll pick Stormheim for the purposes of this video. Each of the zones will level with you, so no matter where you pick when you actually get into the Legion, when you get into Legion on the live servers, rather, it doesn't matter where you start or where you end. The mobs in the zone that you end in will always be the exact same level as you. So if you start in Azuna and you finish in Stormheim, Stormheim will be 110. If you start in Stormheim, it'll be 100, and you go, let's say you go all the way around, Azuna will be 108 to 110, depending on what level you get here at. And Suramar is a 110 only zone, more for flavor and lore, lots of world quests, and a couple of mythic dungeons. So that area is off limits until we hit maximum level and get a little bit of gear. So we will pick Stormheim. You will come back to this once you have completed your first zone. So once you've completed Stormheim, you can come back to Light's Hope Chapel and pick one of these. You'll be prompted to pick another one, and I think actually at that point you can pick any of them. You can actually pick all three of them up at the same time, rather. So, now that we've shown you that, we can talk to this gentleman. Good luck out there. We're all in this together.
For the Alliance.
And if we were to continue on and actually go to Stormheim, to get back to Dalaran from the Paladin class hall, there is this cool little golden portal here that you can take, but we're not going to take that one right now. It has no purpose for the rest of this video, really. But you would take that back. So you can always come back and forth through this portal. Alright, and then there's a quartermaster here. I think I showed this in one of my warrior videos.
Need help?
This quartermaster sells... Let's close that up. Sell a few of these things. This quartermaster will sell some neat things. These weapons you're not going to have any use for. I think these are just transmogs. Yeah. Not really anything for you to be that interested in. But they do sell a plate set that you will use. I believe you can't use until 110. Yeah, you can use them at 110 and with certain conditions met. Obviously here you need to be honored with the Nightfallen. This one you need revered with 3 Broken Isle reputations. You need to finish your class order campaign for this. Spalders reach exalted with the Nightfallen. And they're pretty cool looking. They're not the greatest, but they're pretty cool looking. This set's really good for when you're doing world quests. It doesn't necessarily mean this will be the best gear that you will have, but they're pretty cool sets. Here's one, earn 50,000 artifact power. But again, they're pretty cool sets. They're useful. Gives you something to look forward to, especially if you're, on your alts or something like that.
Go with honor, friend.
So, we'll head over here to Oh, somebody sped me up. Thank you, friend. March of the High Lord. Cool. So, here we are. We'll take a look at the Ashbringer. We've seen this a million times, but just to get a closer look. And there we have it. There is the Ashbringer as it will appear in-game. This is the base model. There will be transmogrifications added to this that you can unlock through various means. They haven't put them all in the game yet. I believe some will be purchasable through gold after reputations. Some you'll need to finish certain dungeons, maybe finish, like Dungeon Hero, etc. like that. They haven't decided. I'm just throwing ideas out there, but that's the way you would unlock transmogs for that item. Okay. Now that we've looked at that, let's take a look at our talents for the Retribution Paladin. In the 15 tier, we have Final Verdict, which increases the damage done by Templar's Verdict by 20% and the damage done by Divine Storm by 10%. Nice flat damage increase there. And we have Execution Sentence, same as on Live. And we have Consecration, which is nice to have back. Gives you a little bit of AoE presence, a little bit of AoE damage. That's my favorite of this tier, but choose what you want. I don't know, what I picked here is not indicative of what the best spec is. In the 30 tier, we have the Fires of Justice, a passive that reduces the cooldown of Crusader Strike by 1.5 seconds and gives it a 20% chance to reduce the cost of your next damaging or healing ability, next damaging or healing holy power ability by 1. I believe this applies to, actually it wouldn't apply to Zeal because you have to take Zeal, which is right here. It will replace Crusader Strike and strike the target for 25,388 physical damage. It has a maximum of 2 charges, and it grants Zeal, causing Zeal attacks to chain to an additional nearby target per stack, maximum of 3 stacks, and each jump deals 40% less damage, will generate a holy power. Then we have Greater Judgment. Your Judgment ability hits 2 additional nearby enemies and always deals a critical strike against targets above 75% health. In the 45 tier, we have Fists of Justice, a passive. Your damaging abilities that spend holy power reduce the remaining cooldown on Hammer of Justice by 8 seconds. We have Repentance, which changed a little bit. Forces an enemy target to meditate, incapacitating the target, and dealing up to a maximum of 25% of the target's health in damage over 1 minute. Then we have Blinding Light. Emits dazzling light in all directions, blinding enemies within 10 yards, dealing 12,967 damage, and causing them to wander disoriented for 6 seconds. Non-holy damage will break the disorient effect. So you can still use any of your holy damage abilities like Judgment, Consecration, and even Divine Hammer. These will not break it. Then we have, in the 60 tier, we have Virtue's Blade, a passive Blade of Justice. Critical strikes now deal 3 times normal damage. Blade of Justice was replaced by Divine Hammer for me, but you would have another ability in this spot called Blade of Justice. You can replace Blade of Justice with Blade of Wrath, which strikes an enemy with Blade of Wrath, dealing 7,746 holy damage and an additional 5,279 holy damage over 5.9 seconds, which will generate 2 holy power. And then Divine Hammer replaces the Blade of Justice, of course, and Divine Hammer spin around you, damaging enemies within 8 yards for 3,873 holy damage instantly, and every 2 seconds for 9.8 seconds, and generates 2 holy power as well. In the 75 tier, we have Justicar's Vengeance. This costs 5 holy power and is an instant attack, dealing 34,576 holy damage and restoring health equal to the damage done, dealing 100% additional damage and healing when used against a stunned target. So you would want to use a Hammer of Justice and then Justicar's Vengeance. I like this ability. I've used it before, but 5 holy power is a little bit of a steep price to pay just to get that little bit of a heal off. Doesn't seem absolutely necessary, although at 110 this might be a good ability to use. And we have Eye for an Eye, 1 minute cooldown, reducing physical damage you take by 35% and instantly counterattacking any enemy that strikes you in melee combat for 13,830 physical damage. This lasts for 10 seconds. This is the one we were using. I find it very helpful. We have Word of Glory, which we know it has a 1 minute recharge time, and it's on it costs 3 holy power, healing you and up to 5 friendly targets within 15 yards for 25,933 damage, maximum of 2 charges. In the 90 tier, we have Divine Intervention. Reduces your Divine Shield cooldown by 50%. In addition, any attack that would kill you instead reduces you to 20% of your maximum health and triggers Divine Shield. Cannot occur while Divine Shield is on cooldown or Forbearance is active. So this is really neat. I love this one. This one is really the bread and butter. Then we have Divine Steed. Summons a holy mount to ride for 3 seconds, increasing movement speed by 100%. You can use this indoors or while in combat. We are going to activate that so that I can show you that before the video's over. And we have Seal of Light. 1 to 5 holy power. It's instant and draws upon your holy energy to increase your movement speed by 20% for 20 seconds per holy power spent, meaning you can have up to 100% movement speed bonus, or excuse me, a 20% movement speed bonus for 100 seconds. I think that's how that works. I don't think the movement speed increases. I think the time increases. So you would have it for, what is that, a minute and 40 seconds? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, a minute and 40 seconds. And then in the 100 tier, we have Divine Purpose. Passive, your holy power spending abilities have a 15% chance to make your next holy power spending ability free. And we have Crusade, which will replace Avenging Wrath. Increases your damage and haste by 2% for 20 seconds. Each holy power spent during Crusade increases damage and haste by an additional 2%, and there's a maximum of 15 stacks, meaning you can have 30% damage and 30% haste, as opposed to 35% damage and healing. You would get 35% haste. I don't think this one's very good. From what I've heard, Rit Paladins aren't doing very well at max level in terms of damage. They're actually being out-damaged by some healer classes, actually. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this will stay the same. I'm not sure if this is even very good. And then there's Holy Wrath. Instant cast, 3-minute cooldown. Deals holy damage to up to 4 enemies within 10 yards, equal to 150% of your missing health. It also will deal 35% of missing health against enemy players. So that's, we'll actually switch that so we can show that ability. We'll show, here is, ha! Oh, it's the tanking one that I just hit. Well, that was a mistake. Nothing happened, you saw nothing. You saw nothing. Where's the damage? There it is. There's our basic attack. That is so, that's embarrassing. And Consecrate. Really cool on the ground. By the way, these are tuned, I think, for 110. So if you actually wanted to check your damage or something like that, I don't think there's anything except maybe in the Dollar on Swords or Stormwind that you can check your damage on. I just want to use this to show off the abilities. There's Judgment, so you can see it ping to another target. We have Zeal. Check out Divine Hammer. Templar's Verdict has changed a little bit. Pretty cool. Hammer of Justice. Not really that much different. Divine Storm. Pretty cool. Here's the Wake of Ashes ability. Sorry for the noise behind me. Not really a crazy cool looking ability, but it actually is very helpful. And we have Hand of Hindrance. And our Flashlight is the same. Here's Holy Wrath. A little bit of a burst of holy energy around us. Lay on Hands is the same. Blessing of Freedom is the same. Bop is the same. I've seen that before. There's no difference in the bop. Eye for an Eye. Kind of the same animation as the parry ability for warriors. Wings. Avenging Wrath, rather. Rebuke. Instead of kicking, you kind of punch now. Here's Shield of Vengeance. Nothing really. A little bit of a animation around the player model. not too noticeable. And then Blinding Light. And we'll show you just one more. We'll show you Divine Steel. Pretty cool. So, as you can see, we use some of our abilities there. We'll talk about what we still have. Obviously, we still have Divine Shield, Rebuke. Shield of Vengeance is a new ability that they added in. Instant 2-minute cooldown creates a barrier of holy light that absorbs 43,220 damage for 15 seconds. When the barrier is consumed, all damage absorbed is dealt as holy damage divided across all enemies within 8 yards. So, while you're leveling, this is a good ability to have on maybe a hotkey, so you can just pop it every time you start a fight. It is on a 2-minute cooldown, so it's a little bit of a long cooldown, but in between, you'll have your flash of lights to get you back up to full. Bop has not changed, neither has a Blessing of Freedom, neither has Lay on Hands. Cleanses the exact same. This is something different. The Greater Blessings, as I said, I think earlier in the video, Ret Paladins are one of the, if not the only, spec and class to still have buffs. So we can see Greater Blessing of Wisdom, instant cast. By the way, these are 60-minute buffs. Places a blessing on an ally that causes them to regenerate 1% of their maximum health and mana per 15 seconds. So we can cast that on that gentleman there. He gets it. We'll cast it on ourselves. And as you can see, he still has it. So you can cast this on your party, on your raid, on your group. Greater Blessing of Might places a blessing on an ally that gives their attacks a 10% chance to deal 30% additional damage as holy damage. Then we have the Greater Blessing of Kings places a blessing on an ally that grants them an absorption shield. It absorbs up to 7,779 damage and will be refreshed to full strength every 6 seconds if it is fully consumed. As you can see in the buffs, the animations haven't changed. Flash of Light still the same. Here's a new spell, Hand of Hindrance, places a hand on an enemy target, reducing movement speed by 70% for 10 seconds. Divine Storm still the same. Hammer of Justice still the same. Divine Hammer we talked about. Yeah, love it. Templar's Verdict has not changed. That's your holy power dump besides Divine Storm. Crusader Strike was replaced with Zeal through my talents, so you would have Crusader Strike here. Here, it is still the same. Judgment judges the target and one other nearby enemy, dealing 19,837 holy damage and causing them to take 64% increased damage from your holy power spenders for 8 seconds. That's a big deal. That allows your Templar's Verdict on single target and your Divine Storm on multi-target to really deal a little bit of increased damage, get that damage. And of course, Consecration we took from our talents. And like I said, a lot of this is bloat from talents, but they're very useful spells, so I like to have them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on the Ret quest line for our artifact, checking out our class hall, and looking at some of the talents, the abilities, and the traits for our artifact weapon itself. You guys have yourselves a wonderful evening. Leave a like and a comment if there's any questions that you have. I will try and answer them, and if enough people are interested, I may even continue with the Red quest line throughout the Broken Isles. Alright, everyone, have yourselves a wonderful evening.